I'm Tarquin.
Hi, I'm Lippa.
And together we started and are part of the Enongishu Rewilding Project in the Mara. Our family story in East Africa starts with my grandparents coming out in the 1940s, where my grandfather established himself as a surgeon in Kenya and was called out to remote villages to administer basically modern medicine. And he learned how to fly and created the flying doctors. He was also a pioneering farmer and carved out areas of wilderness on the slopes of Kilimanjaro to feed a growing nation. My father continued the farming, and I was raised on a farm just outside of the Masai Mara. And although it was a lovely childhood, it did have its challenges of being a rain-fed agriculture on marginal land and also degrading land. So we decided to buy this piece of land in the Mara in the year 2000 along the Mara River, where we could irrigate and start an intensive agricultural project. We planted beans for export and seed maize for the local seed industry. We did that for about 10 years. In 2009, my wife and I got married on the farm, and there was all sorts of problems in the area. Outside of the farm, on the community land, the wildlife had no value, and the lions were being killed for eating community livestock. Forests were being cleared for cultivation. Elephants were being killed and harmed for raiding maize crops on our boundary. So we decided actually to take a leap of faith and to buy the farm with a couple of friendly investors and to change the land use from farming to something that might be better in this environment on the edge of the Mara. So we opted for conservation and ecotourism.
We converted a farmstead on the edge of the farm into a high-end eco lodge called House in the Wild, which is a perfect safari destination for a family getaway or different groups of clients wanting safari. We also created Naratoi. In order to pay for the farm, we converted the farm into a high-end eco-estate where investors get the chance to buy a piece of land, a limited number of plots available to create their dream safari home, at the same time contributing to the Enongishu Conservancy. We created the Mara Training Centre, where we work with communities on sustainable rangeland management practices, and we have accommodation there which is popular for groups wanting safari or to learn about wildlife conservation.
Our ecotourism enterprises all chip in to fund the Enongishu Conservancy, so the communities keep their land open and the rangers can be employed to protect the wildlife.
Since 2009, we've been part of a rewilding project where once barren land outside the farm fence that was severely overgrazed with no wildlife is now thriving with biodiversity. Communities who could not see value in the wildlife are now part of our conservation efforts in protecting the wildlife habitats. Ecotourism goes hand in hand with conservation and community development. In order for one to do well, they all have to thrive. It's important to adapt if things aren't working and to base decisions made on the best outcome possible for the communities in this area, the local economy, the wildlife and the environment.
The Maasai pastoralist nomadic lifestyle was fundamental to the creation of the Masai Mara. Livestock is integral to the culture of the Maasai people. It's part of their heritage and it's a way of life. If managed well, livestock and wildlife thrive together. The community have their cattle in one herd that follows a holistic grazing plan to promote grass growth and in turn attracts wildlife. We work with the community on improved husbandry practices, improved cattle grazing, and reserve forage for times of drought, and keeping the livestock moving in a pattern that gives grass a chance to grow and regenerate. With increased grass, not only are the livestock doing better, but the wildlife in the area is coming back, and we have a great tourism product. Every guest that stays with us pays a conservation fee, which was never a revenue stream to the community before, and now they're making good returns on their patch of conservation land. So instead of being a pest, the wildlife is actually bringing a value to the community. In fact, when you see a lion, the story is not how beautiful that lion is. The story is how the hell is that lion surviving in an area on private land. It's been a huge success. It's been incredibly rewarding looking back. We've started from scratch. It was a blank canvas. But the story of growth, hope and progress has been phenomenal. We've created an indigenous tree nursery, and guests are given the opportunity of reducing their carbon footprint by planting several trees, which is now taking shape and it's looking really great.
We built the Amati School in 2011. The future of the wildlife in this area lies in the hands of these children, so we're doing all we can to ignite their passion and to get them to love it as much as we do. We employ local staff, and very few people in the area have had the chance to go to a secondary school, so we work hard to train people and to build their confidence. This project has been an exciting journey, and we're all in it together, from the wildlife now living in the forests of Inung Gishu to the Maasai landowners who took a gamble with us and put their land into conservation, to the investors who believed in our vision, to the girls who used to pick French beans on the farm but now work with us in the lodges. The little details and the finishing touches all tell the story. We recycle wine bottles and try to avoid bringing single-use plastics into this environment. The ladies now get income through carefully beading the water bottles. Nature is incredibly resilient if given a chance, and I think that this project provides an exciting story of hope and inspiration, opening up new areas for conservation.
Gee.
Nature is incredibly resilient if given a chance. And you're making me laugh.
So after I married the almighty Lipper, we don't look at me like that. Sorry.
This is Shanokam. Thank you, Kevin Abs. That's why she's like.
And that was basically the basis of the basic area.
Basically.
Yeah.